The most dangerous man on the planet is crying in a cage. He isn't crying from pain, he's crying from injustice. The crowd is booing him, his face is covered in his own blood, and he is completely, utterly blind. Guys, I just got poked knuckle deep in the eyeball. Why are you booing? I can't see. This was supposed to be Tom Aspinall's night, his coronation, the start of a new heavyweight dynasty.
Solidifying it straight. Oh! What a finish! Very fast hands.
Instead, UFC 321 ended with a whimper. A confusing mess of finger pointing, shattered dreams, and one of the most controversial moments in championship history. This is the story of how 4 minutes and 35 seconds potentially destroyed a legacy before it even began. The heavyweight division has been a disaster for years. Francis Ngannou, the king, walked away from the throne. He wanted freedom, better pay, and a boxing match. The UFC let him go. Jon Jones moved up, won a vacant belt from Ciryl Gane, and then vanished. He held the title hostage for 840 days, fighting a 40-year-old Stipe Miocic while the entire division froze. Into this chaos stepped Tom Aspinall, a British phenom with fists of lightning. 7 of his 8 UFC wins ended in the first round. He was fast, he was technical, he was everything the heavyweight division desperately needed. They made him an interim champion, a placeholder. He even defended that fake belt, waiting for a shot at Jones that would never come. When Jones finally retired, Aspinall was promoted. The paper champion became the real champion. His first test was a fight no one asked for, against Ciryl Gane. The same man Jon Jones choked out in 2 minutes. The same man Francis Ngannou ran through and out-wrestled with 2 bad knees. The narrative was simple. Aspinall would run through him too. He was a 3-1 favourite. But Tom knew better. All week, he warned everyone, "This is my hardest challenge." No one listened. The stage was set in Abu Dhabi. The chants of Tommy Aspinall filled the arena. This was his moment, the start of the Aspinall era. For 4 minutes, it was a perfect fight. Aspinall came out throwing bombs, but Gane was different. He wasn't a stationary target. He used his elite kickboxing, his footwork. He was slick. He peppered Aspinall with jabs, blood poured from Tom's nose. Aspinall shot for a takedown, it was stuffed easily. Gane's defense was airtight. The stats tell the story. In less than 1 round, Gane landed 30 significant strikes. Aspinall landed 27. It was a dead-even firefight. This was not the easy night everyone predicted. This was a real fight, the toughest of Tom Aspinall's career. Then, with 25 seconds left in the first round, everything broke. Aspinall presses forward, Gane throws a punch, but his hand is open. His fingers, not his knuckles, speared directly into Tom Aspinall's eyes. Both of them. It wasn't a scrape, it was a deep, knuckle-deep gouge. Aspinall recoils, he stumbles back. The referee Jason Herzog calls time. The doctor comes in. Aspinall holds a cloth to his face. He is in visible agony. "I can't see, I can't see." He says it over and over. The 5-minute recovery clock ticks down. The crowd grows restless. Ciryl Gane paces around the cage, shaking his head. Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion of the world, is trying to blink his vision back. It doesn't come back. At 4:09 of the stoppage, the fight is waved off. A no contest. The boos rain down. Aspinall, heartbroken, defends himself to the crowd. Gane drops to his knees. 2 fighters, 2 shattered dreams. But the real drama was just beginning. The backlash was immediate and it was brutal. The fans were divided. One side saw a victim, the other saw a quitter. In one corner, you had legends defending Aspinall. Michael Bisping, who fought his entire career with one eye, was brutally honest. People might point at me and say, "Yeah, well, you fought with one eye." Yeah, that was a secret because I shouldn't have been fighting. He called it a significant eyeball. This wasn't a minor scratch. This was a traumatic injury. But in the other corner, the criticism was savage. Hall of Famer Chael Sonnen led the charge. Being poked in the eye is illegal, Brendan. But to fight with one eye is very common. If you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you got to fight with one eye at times. Anthony Smith, another fighter, was even more direct. "I knew that I wanted to continue, so I know what to say. You never say I can't see if you want to continue a fight." The narrative was set. Tom Aspinall, for the first time in his career, faced real adversity and he failed the test. Then the villains emerged. First, Jon Jones, the former champion who never gave Aspinall a fight. He took to social media immediately after. He changed his profile picture to a duck wearing an eye patch, a direct, mocking shot at the man who waited for him for 2 years. It was a cheap shot, a cowardly move from the sidelines. The hero was down and the old king was kicking him. Then the biggest villain of all stepped to the microphone, Dana White. The UFC president gave his take in the post-fight press conference. His words would ignite a firestorm. Gane had Tom bloodied up and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so the rematch is very interesting. Tom didn't want to continue. That single phrase was a grenade. It framed Aspinall as a man who quit, who chose the easy way out. The MMA community exploded. Ariel Helwani called it predictable. He wrote, "Wild way of framing such a deep double eye poke." Fans were even angrier. One user wrote, "Imagine your boss watching you get injured on the job by something he has repeatedly ignored that has been a known issue for years, and then trying to gaslight everyone into thinking it was your fault." The problem of eye pokes is not new. Jon Jones built a career on the edge of them. The UFC once tested new gloves to prevent them. They were scrapped. Dana White was asked if he would try them again. His answer was simple: just happens. So the fighters are left in a system where a career-ending injury can happen in an instant from an accidental foul. And when it does, the promotion subtly blames the fighter. It was a perfect storm of injustice. The champion was injured and vilified. The challenger was painted as a cheat, even though the poke was ruled accidental. The promoter fanned the flames. And the former champion mocked from the shadows. The heavyweight division, once again, was a circus. So where does this leave Tom Aspinall? Is he the most cursed champion in modern UFC history? A catastrophic knee injury took him out for a year. He sat on the shelf for 2 years waiting for Jon Jones. He never got the fight. He finally gets the real belt, and his first defense lasts less than 5 minutes before ending in a nightmare. His legacy is now tangled in a single moment, a moment he did not choose. The rematch is already being talked about. Dana White called it a pain in the ass, but confirmed it's the fight to make. But everything has changed. Before UFC 321, Aspinall was the unstoppable force. Now there are cracks, questions about his heart, questions about how he handles true adversity. Cyril Gane, on the other hand, gained stock. For 4 minutes, he was winning. He looked better than he had in years. His confidence will be sky high for the rematch. The pressure on Aspinall is now immense. He isn't just fighting for a title, he's fighting for his reputation. He's fighting to prove he isn't what his critics say he is. He has to win, and he has to win decisively. The other winner in this mess is Jon Jones. The narrative that Aspinall ducked the fight by not continuing plays right into Jones' hand. It gives him an excuse to never face the one man who truly threatened his reign. It keeps the shadow of Jones looming over the division he abandoned. This single eye poke didn't just end a fight, it reshaped the entire landscape of the UFC heavyweight division. It creates heroes and villains out of thin air. It exposed the ugly underbelly of a sport that preaches toughness above all else, even common sense. The image is burned into our memories. Tom Aspinall, bloody and blind, pleading with a crowd that boos him. It is a picture of brutal injustice. This wasn't a knockout, it wasn't a submission, it was an accident. A messy, unsatisfying, heartbreaking accident. It robbed us of a great fight. It robbed Tom Aspinall of his moment, and it robbed the heavyweight division of any clarity. The story of UFC 321 is a tragedy. A story of what could have been destroyed by a single open hand. The only way to write a new ending is to run it back. We need to see Aspinall versus Gane too. We need answers. But no matter what happens next, we will always remember the night the heavyweight championship ended with a whimper, and the whole world watched the champion almost cry. What did you think of the fight? Was Tom Aspinall right to stop, or should he have fought through the injury like others have? Let me know your honest opinion in the comments. The debate is half the fun. If you want more raw, unfiltered breakdowns of the biggest moments in MMA, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.